Hey, so this video we're going to see why the rich aren't actually that silly when they're spending their crazy money on silly things. So I've seen a few posts on Facebook now and again about people bitching and whining about celebrities or rich people paying huge amounts of money for stuff. And I mean, by now, hopefully you know that I'm all about the money / time, or it's all about your time. And when you start thinking in terms of percentages, all of a sudden, all of those rich, crazy people don't seem that crazy, they're just rich. Look at it in terms of income. So let's say you take an average, or a bloke or lady who's, got a good job, got a good handle on their money, and let's say they're making 500 quid surplus. So at the end of the month, after all of their outgoings, they've got 500 quid left in terms of spending money or investable money, so to speak. And let's say they go out on a night out, and I've asked a few people like Matty and some others what they would, spend on a big night out. Let's say it's their monthly big splurge or quarterly splurge or whatever. And 100 quid is about average. So I've got my calculator here. So if you do 100 quid divided by 500, could have done that in my head, promise. That's 20%. So basically on a big night out, a lot of people out there would spend 20% of their monthly surplus on that night out. Well, then just let's look at a celebrity. So Johnny Depp was in the news recently because he's going through all that court case stuff. So I've just Googled him, and it says here, according to the Goog, he's worth $400 million. Now, I have zero idea of what his income is because he's got all sorts of contracts and etc. So let's say he just stopped working right now and he put all of his 400 million into some sort of fund, and let's say worst case scenario, he was getting 5% per year, which literally is a piece of piss. You can do that in your sleep. And I'm pretty sure he can get more than that. So if he puts his 400 million into just really generic savings and makes 5% per year, he's making $20 million per year in interest. And that's not even touching his capital. So if Johnny went on a night out and spent 20% of his yearly surplus, i.e. just the interest, that's 1.6 million a month surplus. What's 20% of that? 333 grand. There you go. And so when you see someone like that, basically a whale, having a big night out and spending over $250,000 million, in percentage terms, he's not doing nothing different than what you would do on a big night out. And that's why he got a bit of flack because he has a private jet and he spends $200,000 per year on his own private jet. Well, let's just work that out. $200,000 divided by 20 million equals 1%. He's spending 1% of his surplus, his monthly or yearly surplus on transport, on his private transport. Just have a little look at your own calculations and see how much you're spending on your car repayments or your petrol stuff. I'd hazard to say most people spend around £250 a month on car stuff, which is probably anywhere between 10 to 20% of your monthly income, not your surplus. So I just thought I'd put that out there, and it's all sort of in ratios really, and So instead of, if you are one of those people that do tend to, stick their nose up when someone spends silly money on what you deem silly money on stuff, just redirect that energy, that thought into trying to work out, okay, how can I get in that position where I can be silly and spend silly stuff on silly stuff. See you soon. One day I was in a shop and I wanted to buy this new shirt, and it was about 70 odd quid, and for some reason I just thought, wait a minute, how many hours am I going to have to work to get that shirt?